Alright, so to solve this, what you have to do...
What are they asking? They're saying identify the x and y intercepts.
Yeah, we need the x and y intercept. So we'll first do the x-intercept. What you do is you take x in this equation and you substitute it you take y, substitute it for 0, so you make this gx thing 0. And so this becomes 0 equals this equation. I factored out 2 just to make stuff easier, and that makes this equation here. So you'll want to factor out any...
So hold on, let's talk about what you did. So what you're saying is that if you want to get x, you need to say y is equal to 0.
Yeah,
right?
So you can...
So you say 0. Y is equal to 0. So that means that this entire thing, 2x squared minus 8x minus 24, is going to be equal to 0. And that's essentially what we're saying over here, right?
Yeah, so we make this...
So then one of the things that we notice here is that we have the coefficient, they're all based on 2.
They're all multiples of 2.
Multiples of 2. So you took 2
out. You can factor out 2 from everything. So basically just divide everything by 2. Put 2 over here.
And then you can get rid of the 2.
And then the 2, it doesn't really matter anymore. And so you can bring this equation into a factoring thing, this little x here. And so this thing here that remains...
You gotta factor the quadratic equation.
Yeah, this becomes a, b, and c. These 3 numbers that we have left. And you can put them into this x box thing to have these numbers.
So what goes in the top box?
The top, it's AC. So
A times C.
Yeah, it's A times C.
So what is A times C here?
That's negative 12x.
Right, so it's negative 12 times x squared.
Yeah, and then this is negative 4x, because this is what's here, so we put it here. And then there's these 2 numbers at the side. So the boxes that we're
looking for.
Yeah, so they... negative 6 times 2 is negative 12.
So hold on, you're jumping ahead.
Okay.
So what you need to do is you want to figure out a number that multiplied gives you 12, or should I say negative 12, and added together gives you 4.
Yeah, so these 2 numbers added together have to equal this number, and these 2 numbers multiplied together have to equal this number.
Right, so the way you start to do that is you figure out, well, what are the factors of 12? Is it either 4, 3, 2, 6, or 1, 12? Right? Because 12 times 1 is 12, 4 times 3 is 12, and 6 times 2 is 12.
Okay, so now we go to this thing after we found all 4 numbers. And we put this C number here in this corner. In these 2 corners, we put X on this outside corner of the box. And then here we put these 2 numbers wherever we think they should be. And so I was able to work out that to get these numbers, this number here should be negative 6. Because negative 6 times x is negative 6x, like here. And negative 6 times 2 is negative 12. And it's the same with these 2 x's is x squared, like what we have here. And then 2 times x is 2x, like what we have here.
And so what you were able to do, what you figured out, is that it's plus 2 and minus 6, plus 2 and minus 6.
And if you were to make these things equal 0, you could solve it to get x minus 2 and x equals 6.
So this represents the 2 possibilities for
the x-intercept.
Right, for y equals 0, which is the x-intercept.
Yeah, so like this thing here, where the points are, where the lines go across the x-axis. Those 2 points are is the or answer basically. So it's either negative 2 or 6, because it depends whether it's on the negative or positive side of the axis.
Right, because it's a quadratic equation. You're going to have 2 lines crossing that intercept, right? You're going to have something going like that. And so that point and that point.
Yeah.
And that's what those are.